the kids off screens, family in.
Thank you.
Sunday morning tryouts, family in. Mum? Can we have a sleepover? Family in. Long day, family in.
Jump into the all-new Skoda Kodiaq, our ultimate family-ing SUV.
Skoda. Oh, can I have some?
Where'd you get that from?
This delicious chicken royale.
Yeah.
Got it delivered.
Burger King delivers.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by That Prize Guy. The following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now! Let's go. How do you like it? On the show. So aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. With a corner knockdown. Still the undisputed champion of the world. Press conference live on DAZN.
Well, a very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Fight Week in the capital this Friday. It's the turn of the next generation as Matchroom look to shine a light on the potential stars of tomorrow. Your main event sees unbeaten middleweight prospect George Liddard look to win his first professional title when he meets Derrick Osaze. And it's all live on DAZN from the Indigo at the O2. Jamie Ward here to bring you all the proceeds from today's final press conference, and alongside me, an incredibly special guest, Matchroom chairman and promoter, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
What is this?
This is the next-gen format. I mean, we've had Frank Smith doing these previously. He's done
you
a tremendous
created
job.
this for Frank Smith?
Yeah.
Now I'm here. We could have just done a normal... Or is this... This is next-gen cool, is it?
Well, yeah, I think so. We're trying.
I like it.
We're
Give it a
trying.
whirl.
I mean, well, Frank was ready to do it today. He'd been rehearsing all night, and you elbowed him at the last minute, so he's absolutely devastated. But, Eddie, great to see you. We didn't have a chance to catch up. Obviously, it was a boxing marathon, wasn't it, for DAZN last weekend? And when you talk about that word next-gen, just before we talk about this card, two of your fighters on the cusp now of world honours in Diego Pacheco and Dalton Smith. Where do those victories last week leave the pair of them?
I mean, in a wonderful position. I mean, we're so passionate about the next gen. And I think every young fighter now has a golden opportunity to emerge as a star, as a headline star. And two guys there, Diego Pacheco and Dalton Smith, that are right there. You know, Diego Pacheco is 23 years of age. He's 23-0. He's #1 ranked with the WBO. He's in a wonderful position. The next fight, both very similar. Probably both one fight, maybe two fights away from fighting for a world title. And also both going to be in big fights next. So for Pacheco, you know, it's the likes of Caleb Plant, Edgar Berlanga, Jaime Munguia, Saras, those kind of guys up next. And Dalton Smith, for me, I just love the spite. You know, people will say, oh, he was overmatched. No, he fought a former European champion, a guy that was mandated for the belt. He made him look like a numpty, right? Smashed him to pieces. And that's what you do when you're too good for that level. So what you saw was an elite world-class fighter running through a European champion. And for people that want to criticise, who says, you know, oh, well, that's European level. Yeah, the reason that we didn't fight somebody else is because they vacated the belt to avoid Dalton Smith, right? The initials are AA. But we'll come on to that later. Dalton Smith is in the same position. Going to be #1 ranked contender with the WBC. And now you bridge that gap between European title level and world level with a big name in Sheffield in the summer. And that will be his big breakout fight at world level. But, you know, beyond those two big names, look at the talent on the card. You know, Tito Mercado looks sensational. Andy Cruz. Not Andy McCruz, that's his Scottish cousin. You know, looked brilliant, Olympic gold medalist. 5 fights, now ready to fight for a world title. Nishant Dev, you know, our Indian Olympian, sensational debut. Zaquin Moses. And, you know, on this card as well, so much great young talent. And that's the passion that we live for, to give those people opportunities to change their life. And with us, it is a straightforward path. No bumps in the road. The only bumps in the road will come from you. having a poor work ethic or not being good enough. And if you have a great work ethic and you're good enough, you will go all the way.
Well, that was only meant to be a one-sentence response
was
from
it?
Mr. Eddie Hearn, but what a way to start. Let's give you a little reminder of what is coming your way then live on DAZN Friday night. The main DAZN broadcast, the place to be, from 7 p.m. as unbeaten Giorgio Visioli steps up to 8 rounds. Middleweight Jimmy Sains looked to maintain his perfect knockout percentage and move 9 without loss, as he also steps up to 8 rounds against Pierre Rossadini. They call him Star Boy. The highly rated Junaid Bostan collides with Bilal Fawaz in the chief support for the vacant English super welterweight title over 10 rounds before the Billericay bomber George Liddard faces Derrick Osaze for the Commonwealth silver middleweight title over 10 rounds. Before that, though, lots of young talent on display before the bell as Maisie Rose Courtney raises the curtain from 5 p.m. on Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels. The popular Jesse Brandon is back over 6 super lightweight rounds as well. 6-0 Lely Buttigieg continues his professional development over 6 against James Todd, who is coming off a terrific fight last year with Aaron Bowen on before the bell. You might remember that one. And Commonwealth Games silver medalist Taylor Bevan fights for the second time as a professional, looking to build on a very impressive debut showing. Now, as is customary with this format, it might take promoter Eddie Hearn a little bit of getting used to it, I think, because I think we're going to be leading this, talking to the fighters and bringing you in as well. Because, Eddie, I think one thing that the fighters love to hear from yourself is the roadmap. Firstly, we're going to talk about Maisie Rose Courtney. Suffered defeat for the first time, was trying to move quickly, but suffered that defeat against Jasmina Zapatochna. What's impressed you about her mindset to bounce back, and not just bounce back, but bounce back in tough fights as well?
Well, you know, we talked about work ethic, and it's noticed the sacrifices that people make. I mean, Maisie lives over in South London, Southeast London, and she's up at the, you know, Tony Sims has got this extreme regimental agenda, old school. It's not make sure you get a good sleep and train when your body clock tells you to train. It's I'll see you at 6 o'clock at the steps on Leon C or whatever it is. And Maisie's made that step, and it's a hard graft. And sometimes things don't go your way. They didn't when she stepped up against Jasmina, and you know, I don't think her preparation was great there. That's done. It's over. But what you do is you give them an opportunity to rebuild. Now with John Ryder and a nice bit of activity. Fought in December, just a few weeks back. Now another 6 rounds to gel with John. And then after Friday night, it's pull the trigger time and back in a championship fight. And then at that point, it's really do or die, because you have to win that fight, because that's your second chance at the cherry in a big title fight, and she'll be ready this time.
Well, let's bring you in, Maisie. Welcome. As Eddie said there, you bounced back in December, and I remember speaking to you after the Zapatochna fight, and you were devastated to lose that O. But when you sit here now, a few months down the line, how is the mindset heading into this new calendar year, and how have things maybe changed for you?
Do you know what? I feel very good. I feel, in like hindsight of things, I'm very grateful, in a sense, that has happened early on in my career, because you don't realise when things are going wrong and things ain't working out if something doesn't happen to bring it to the forefront. Do you know what I mean? I work hard, I like to fight, and that's it. And that's what I need to continue on with my career and make sure that stays like that. Make sure everything's perfect. And like Eddie said, I've got one more chance to prove how good I am. Another win under my belt, and that's it. Onwards and upwards from there.
And as Eddie said, pull the trigger time. You ready for the big names at a flyweight and in and around your division this year?
Anyone, anywhere, any place. O2, Mum's back garden, even Tesco's car park, I'll do it. I don't care, I'll fight anyone.
Well, we often see you going back and forth with fighters on social media, and I've just finally, I think the latest one was Laura Payne. Was it you two having a little bit to say on Instagram? Is that a fight you're interested in?
Yeah, do you know, the thing is with her, she's a little bit of a weird one, because I've asked her to fight many, many times, even like maybe a year ago, or something to fight her. And then I asked her recently, and then whatever, then she done a little post saying she's the most aggressive female fighter out there, and I'm not being funny. Have you ever seen me box? I close my eyes and go at it, so I know that's a lie. But she wants to fight me, I'll fight her. I want to rematch Jasmina, Chloe, anyone. I've got nothing to lose now, Jamie, do you know what I mean? I'm not fearful, I'll fight anyone.
Mate, we look forward to seeing you back in the ring, opening the curtain on Before the Bell from 5 p.m, Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels, and also Lely Buttigieg. I mean, talk about activity, Eddie. 5 fights last year, 4 on Matchroom cards, 1 top tier. Still only 19 years old, by the way. But I mentioned James Todd in the intro. He's coming off a tremendous fight with Aaron Bowen, had him down in that fight. What do you like about this step up?
What a fight. I mean, when we sat down and went through this card, Tom Dallas said Laley and his team like the James Todd fight. And I was like, what, the geezer that just fought Aaron Bowen? And they went, yeah, up at super middle. And Eddie Lamb, Al Smith, they're all, you know, as all good trainers are, they're all on the conservative side. This is a big step up from where Laley's been fighting. But I think the fact that they're taking the step up, and I think we know he's going to perform even better against people that come to fight. This week, up at 160, got to make a massive difference. Before, in my opinion, he was, you know, fighting, the weight was too low, he was losing a little bit of his energy and his power. But this is a real fight. If you don't perform, you will get beat. And when you bring a prospect through, a lot of the time, if you don't perform, you still win. Not against someone like James Todd. This is a, you know, and this is a young man. You know, he's only just starting out. And this is a big test. And I love it. I love it. I love the fact that these guys are taking it. And he'll be excited for it because he knows you can't get it wrong on Friday night.
Lily, I spoke to you just backstage when you were doing your media photos and your interviews ahead of fight night on Friday. We talk about the Todd fight with Aaron Bowen, obviously a fight you've watched. What do you like about the challenge that's in front of you from what you saw in that fight?
Yeah, he's a good, strong man. You know, he comes to fight. I'm watching that fight. He even dropped Aaron Bowen. But he ain't been in the ring with me yet. My team know how good I am. I know how good I am. And, you know, I'm going to do the business on Friday. And
I know you loved your debut. You got on the turnbuckle, WWE style, and said this is the Lely Buttigieg era. For this year, though, what's important to you?
Just to keep performing, keep learning, but, you know, just keep doing the best as I can. You know, I'm ready for whatever. I train hard. I put my hours in. Al and Eddie know how good I am, so whatever comes my way, I'll be ready for it.
And like you say, Aaron Bowen did get to James Todd in the 5th round, I think it was, but had to get off the canvas.
You got to be, I mean, you'll love this fight because this geezer's a lunatic. Straight up madman.
So am I. I'm a lunatic as well.
Yeah, but you're a little bit more of a calm assassin. He's just a lunatic, right? But he will come looking for you. In all of these fights, a lot of the fights you've had so far, they feel the power, and then after 1 or 2 rounds, they're just circling around the ring, and you're trying to chase them down. You know, sometimes you can be a bit sloppy, not you, but just in general prospects that are just trying to get overmatched opponents out there. This James Todd will be straight in front of you, coming forward all night. So you can afford to show your skills.
You can come, you know, I don't hide. I'll be ready for
him. Good. I'll be ready, and so will your fans. You sold a load of tickets. Going to be a great fight.
Look forward to Lely Buttigieg versus James Todd as well, part of a stack before the bell on Friday night. And we also welcome Jesse Brandon. Jesse, welcome to the show. 350 tickets, I'm told. Where does that support, in terms of these fighters, Eddie, when you have that type of support, how important is it that they match that with a big performance in the ring?
Well, I mean, that's the winning formula. Every promoter likes a fighter that sells tickets, but every promoter likes a fighter that sells tickets and can fight. And one of the things with the Next Gen shows is also giving young, undefeated prospects an opportunity. They may not have a Matchroom contract. Jesse doesn't yet. But what he does have is a mate called Anthony Joshua who has been harping on about him for ages. And when AJ calls me and says, I want my man on the show, he's on the show. So he's got a big crowd coming on Saturday. He's got a global platform. And it's over to Jesse.
Talk to us about that support then. What does that do for you? And where does that stem from? Because that's big numbers after 4 pro fights.
I like how Eddie said yet. He added a yet. So the support is just obviously like everyone just supports and appreciates what I'm doing from my community, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to transition, you know what I mean? I was in the streets and all of that, but now that I'm doing the boxing, I feel like everyone's appreciative of what I'm trying to do and for the next gen as well. So yeah, man, I appreciate everyone that's buying tickets, man, because obviously they're spending their hard-earned money for me. So I just know I'm fighting now. I just got to go in there and just show this guy that.
AJ's a product of that. Boxing changed his life. Yeah. That's the same with you. And you know about our work in the community. Boxing has really changed and, like many people say, also saved your life.
Yeah, it did save my life, and I feel like that's why me and AJ relate so much, and I feel like that's why he's always willing to help, you know what I mean? So when I was venting to him, he just called you or whatever, and then, yeah, we're here now, innit? So obviously, he's given me the opportunity, you've given me the opportunity, so fight night, just go out there and show out and look to be busy, man. Look to be busy because obviously my age mates, people my way, my competition, I should say, they're ahead of me only due to experience. I don't feel like they're better than me. So I just got to prove it. So I just got to be active, and then obviously when the time comes, I will be calling out who I need to call out. But until then, just get rid of the cobwebs and get this guy out there, man.
Well, Jesse, Maisie, Lely, thanks so much for speaking to us. As I say, 5 p.m, Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels for Before the Bell. Next group of fighters coming up, 3 more young stars of tomorrow looking to make a big statement on Friday night.
I think that's my special move at the moment.
Well, Eddie, 3, like I say, potential superstars of tomorrow. Like you say, the purpose of these next-gen shows. Jimmy Sains, George Liddard and Taylor Bevan as well. Now, I'm going to start with Taylor because he was a fighter that you watched in the Commonwealth Games against Aaron Bowen, who we've been speaking about. He picked up the silver medal. And you said after you were desperate to sign him. When you watched him in his debut in November, what did you do about backing up the fact how much you wanted to sign him?
Brilliant. Brilliant. I mean, exactly the kind of debut that you want. First of all, brought a huge crowd with him. You know, up from Southampton way, and done it again on Friday night. But it was just the way that he went about his work. People want to be entertained. When you're fighting at that level, you can't mess around. You got to go through people. And that's what he did. And, you know, there's a few fighters that I've watched over the years in the amateurs, and I've just said, we have to sign them when they turn pro. Joe Caldina was another one in the Tri-Nations. Many of them, Callum Smith. And it was the same with Taylor. And you know, although after the Commonwealth Games, he might not have made that natural progression to the Olympics like was expected, I still knew that he'd be a great professional. And I loved the way he goes about his work. I think these 3 particularly are just an absolute superstar set waiting to happen. And I know all of them will never take their foot off the gas in the gym. They'll live the life and they'll get the max out of their potential.
We'll come on to Giorgio and Jimmy in just a moment. But Taylor, welcome back. When you look back at that professional debut, out of 10, what would you score yourself and how are you expecting Friday to compare?
Yeah, very happy with my debut. I've had loads of compliments about the way it went. Couldn't have asked for much more, really. I think I'd score myself an 8 or a 9. There's always things that you can improve on, but happy to be out again so soon and just looking to build on from that and keep the momentum going.
And in terms of momentum, obviously how you move forward, Taylor, will ultimately be up to the team around you. You've got a great team as well, but obviously with Eddie and Matchroom. But if it was up to you, 6-round debut, straight into another 6 on professional fight number 2. If it was up to Taylor Bevan, how do you move forward over the next 12 months?
Yeah, just to stay as active as I can. And Eddie made it clear after my debut that that's what they want to do with me. So I'm very happy with that. I'd like to just do the same as what's happened after my debut, get straight back into camp and work towards my next date. Just want to stay as active as I can over the next 12 months and keep developing and keep the momentum going.
Good stuff, Taylor. Look forward to seeing you back in the ring. Certainly one to watch out for, as is this man, Giorgio Visioli. Now, for a young man who never stopped anyone as an amateur, he's made a flying start, hasn't he? Steps up to 8 rounds as well. In your mind, why was now the right time for Giorgio to take that little leap?
Because he's done a little bit of everything. You know, he's done rounds, he's scored knockouts, he's boxed all over the place on big shows. He's shown the temperament, he's shown the calmness, he's shown the ability. You can't, when someone's shining like that, you can't hold them back. 8 rounds is a natural progression. Good opponent for him on Friday as well. But I want to see, like, all of these fighters with quality, you're going to see the best of them against better opposition. You know, you've seen it. Look, the 2 co-main events tonight are a great example of that as well. Friday, Junaid and George. They're now in real fights. And these guys are on the verge of real fights. And Giorgio is, you know, he's looked sensational. His whole professional career so far. Got to keep the statements coming because he's building into a championship fighter.
Giorgio, we'll come to you then. Stepping up to 8 rounds, a great team around you with Mark Tibbs as well in Raynham. What do you believe the extra 6 minutes will give you in the ring on Friday?
I think it gives me a bit more time, you know. I'm happy to do the 8. I said straight away, to be honest, I only knew actually like 2 weeks ago I was doing the 8. I thought I was doing 6 for some reason. But now I'm happy I'm doing the 8. I think it gives me more time, and yeah, I think you'll see my class even more.
And one thing we spoke about, it's not just the maturity we're seeing from you in the ring, but also out the ring as well. You're speaking well, you're saying you're getting a little bit more used to the interviews and being on the big stage, which is a big part of it. You've got to be able to sell yourself in this game.
100%.
But in terms of the experience, how much are you finding your feet in this mad world of boxing?
It's different, you know. In the amateurs, you don't do any of this, but I really enjoyed it so far. At the start, I was a bit nervous, you know, but now I'm thriving off it now, and I enjoy doing all of this, and looking forward to doing more.
And in terms of the challenge in front of you, on paper, a big punching Mexican, 12 knockouts from 16 wins. You embracing that challenge?
Yeah, you train hard, you know. I'll be any man and put in front of me. You know, I was meant to fight someone else. Pulled out on Monday, another good opponent, but I think this guy's got on paper a better record. And yeah, another Mexican, tough guy. They're born to fight. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Good stuff. Look forward to seeing you, Giorgio, back in the ring, as we do with this man. Now they're calling him the Brentwood Beterbiev. 8 fights, 8 knockouts. Jimmy, good to see you. In terms of that start, Eddie, obviously we've known Jimmy for years, obviously being in the Tony Sims gym. But has it surprised you how well he's taken to life as a professional?
No, because as an amateur, everybody would say, I mean, he's from our area, everybody would say his style is perfectly suited to the pros. Everyone would talk about his punching power. Now, 100% knockout ratio wasn't naturally expected, but we love it. And Jimmy Sains punches very, very hard. But there's a lot of things that are changing. You know, the IQ's changing, the experience is changing, the jab's changing, the footwork's changing, the strength's changing, the body's changing. And he's probably one of our most active fighters. 8 fights, you know, just over a year, I think, since the professional debut. So, you know, moving into fight number 9, couldn't really go much better. The experience he's gaining. And this is a big year for him as well. Same with Jimmy, to be honest with you. I want to see those southern area fights. I want to see those eliminators for English titles, because he's going to fill venues like this. He's going to fill the York Hall, Brentwood Centre, just for those southern area title fights. Massive ticket seller. And it's difficult being a massive ticket seller when you're fighting nearly every month, you know, and you're fighting, he boxed in December at York Hall. 3 weeks later, he's back at, you know, in East London. So I think so far, perfect, and getting better and better.
And as it is, 8 fights, 8 knockouts, and 8 rounds as well, Jimmy, for the first time. Why do you feel now, as I said to Giorgio, was the right time for you to take that small step forward?
Yeah, this will be my first 8 rounder. I mean, I know that I haven't gone the distance, but I've done 6 or 7, 5 or 6 rounders. So it's just natural progression, 8 rounder, and then look for titles next.
We talk about the perfect record, absolutely perfect. How much is that in your mind, heading into every fight?
To be honest, I try to put it to the back of my mind. I don't really think about it at all. I mean, everyone wants to have the knockout. It's good. It looks good to have the knockout. People want to see the knockout. But, I mean, if it doesn't happen, it don't happen. So I just go in there and try put on the best boxing performance I can. And if the shot happens, it happens. And so far it has done. So that's why I keep the same aim at every fight.
Well, Pierre Rosadini's never been stopped in 6 defeats, I believe, 12 fights. So you fancy putting a little end to that?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. You have to tune in Friday to see.
Look forward to seeing the Brentwood Beterbiev back in action on Friday night. I hope that's going to stick, by the way. Jimmy Sains, Giorgio Vizioli, and Taylor Bevan as well. English title action coming up in the Chief Support Friday night. And in the Chief Support on Friday, the English Super Welterweight title will be contested between a man they're calling the Star Boy, Junaid Bostan, and Bilal Fawaz as well. Bilal, welcome. Eddie, let me come to you first. What do you like about this fight? And when you think about that word next gen, where does Junaid Bostan fit into Matchroom's plans?
Well, I mean, firstly, what I love about the fight is people are coming up to me in the hotel lobby downstairs saying, you know, Junaid Bostan's got a real fight on Friday night. I said, good. They said, yeah, I won't tell him who said it, but because you don't know him, he said, but he might lose that fight. I said, good. If he ain't good enough, he'll lose. This is what we keep saying. We want to see the best out of someone like Janae Boston. He is a superstar waiting to happen. But you've got to be tested. And Bilal's going to give him that test. And Bilal can change the trajectory of his career on Friday night as well. He becomes a target now. You know, these guys are looking at him going, I want what he wants. He's co-main event. He's going to be headlining. English title is really what he wanted, and he's wanted for a long time. And what that gives you is the ability to move forward and fight for British titles and big fights. And he's on the verge. He's a young man. He's a fantastic fighter. But now, he's been in a couple of tests. Now it's a real test. And I'm excited. I think you see the best of him.
Bilal, let's bring you in first. Good to see you. And for those who don't know the story of Bilal Fawaz, I challenge you to go and read it because it's incredible, it's inspirational. But that moment, everything you've been through leads you to be here on the big stage, fighting Janae Bostan for the English title. What does this moment on Friday represent in your story?
Hi, everyone. This is a momentous moment. It is a moment that would change the trajectory of my career. I've came so far. I mean, so far in a short space of time. I mean, I've never fought on the stage of Matchroom before. Thank you, by the way. Thank you so much, Eddie. This is huge for me. I've never fought on this magnitude before, and the first time I'm fighting, I'm the headliner. I mean, not the, second, but yeah. So
you, though?
Not me. You are. But not for long. Not for long. So here's the deal. I came so far in a short space of time. Now, that should rattle anyone that I'm going to be facing. However, I'm the Southern Era champion in about 7 fights. They didn't want to give it to me, and I didn't even win the Southern Era title in my weight. I had to go up the weight class, the middleweight, to fight for it. And I keep on drinking water just to step on the scale to make weight to fight people. So it's a huge moment for me, and this would change everything. It would change my life. My life has been a roller coaster, not in a good way, but in a very, very unpredictable manner. So this right here, it's sensational.
He's a cheeky boy, isn't he?
I can see that.
What do you think?
I think he's a pretty boy. I'll call him pretty boy.
No, did I?
Yeah, I'll call you pretty boy. He's a cheeky guy.
What do you think of him as a fighter?
I said pretty now.
I think, look, Janae, you're a good fighter, but the thing is, you don't command power. You don't command.
What are you
it.
smoking? 10 fights, 8 knockouts.
You have this.
My
no
man's
power
what? 10
with it.
fights, 1 loss with 3 knockouts.
Okay, but look at the people I've fought. You fought riffrats and vagabonds and all. Look at that. Look at that. He hasn't even wanted it. I'm funny. It's not funny. It's realisticness. You can see it. You're smiling because you know it's the truth. Now, I'm not condemning you in any way. I'm saying you're a good fighter, and you have to be. And it's okay to have confidence, because having confidence will take you further than where you will be if you never had that confidence. Now, they're lions and they're tigers and then they're cats.
We're humans.
Oh yeah, you don't understand the analogy, that's why. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
How'd you beat him?
How would I beat him? I adapt, whatever you have, I will.
There's a long pause.
Yeah, because I adapt. I don't have a style. If you watch my fights, I have no style.
That is true, to be fair with you. You don't have a Scooby doing what you're doing. 1 minute you're on the front foot, 1 minute you're on the back foot. So to be fair with you, do you know when I've been getting asked in on interviews, how are you going to beat Bilal? The truthful answer is, I'll see what's in front of me because I ain't got a fucking clue, because you haven't either. Do you know what I'm saying? So
you're
let's
correct.
Just be real here, yeah, right?
Yeah.
You're here to make the numbers up. Let's just be real, yeah. You're going to get dealt with, yeah. Everyone can have a little bit of a Cinderella story. Look, I've had this happen to me, I've had that. Listen, it's a very good story. Fair play to you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't take any credit away from me with that. I've got a story too. The difference is I don't go around singing my praises and saying, look at me. Like, I've done what I'm doing. So, you may get your moment, but unfortunately for you, comes Friday, it ain't going to be with me. You may get it after, once I vacate or get rid of English.
Do you think this is your toughest fight?
Potentially. I mean, take nothing away from him as he is as a character. He's got a vast amateur background with 90 fights. He's done a lot of on the off licence when he was struggling to get his board licence, and then obviously since then he's been professional. He's fought a few good guys, but away from that, really, yeah, I'm gonna deal with him. Like, I know what I need to do, and that's what I'm gonna go and do.
Do you know what they call perception and perspective and opinions?
You're not the interviewer, my friend. I'm not here to ask you a question.
Okay, so you have an opinion, yeah?
Now, that's an opinion. That's based on your analysis, mentally. Now, your perception is based on how you feel internal. Okay, now, perspective.
Am I in therapy or what?
Yeah, you are. You are, because trust me, when I finish with you, you will need therapy. Look at this guy.
Junaid,
he doesn't know what's coming from.
Junaid, what do you
I'm
think of this
telling you.
energy? What do you think of the energy that's coming your way here?
I don't know what to make of it. It's quite funny, to be fair with you. I mean, it's funny. It's brand new.
Of course it
but
is funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, you know what he said? He said, I have no clue what I'm doing, but look, I'm in front of you. Look how far I've come in a short space of time. So
You're
this,
36 years of age, my friend.
that's why I'm coming for you so quickly. And that's why I've got in here so quick.
Listen, come for me. I'll meet your head on. Don't
Oh
worry
my
about that,
Lord,
friend.
this
I
guy.
promise
You know
you.
what?
I promise
You know what? I've seen what you can do, and in my mental state of mind, I've annihilated
about
you.
your mental state of mind.
Yes, but I've already tell you, dude, you need to be prepared for whatever you have planned if it doesn't work.
Alhamdulillah, I'm prepared for it all. Don't worry
Mashallah.
about that. Alhamdulillah, that's all
Yes, but I can assure you, yes, you can have all the preparation. Now, what happens when it doesn't work? You see that smile you have on your face? Yeah? I hope you keep it after that, after the fight. Yeah?
Junaid,
Pretty boy,
ultimately,
I like
good. You
this
need to
guy.
stop saying that, yo.
He's a pretty
You don't
boy.
want to do a face-off.
This has been fun.
Or-
We'll do the face-off a bit later.
I don't
This
know
has
if I
been
wanna,
fun.
Jamie, this is
What
the
is
problem.
okay? Fair
I'm a
enough. Will.
pretty boy, I'm very
What is the difference ultimately, and what will be the difference between you two in the ring on Friday?
I'm the better fighter. Simple. You can have more experience, you can have the story, you can have it all. I am the better fighter. Inside, outside, orthodox, southpaw. If you want to make it a dogfight, you can make it a dogfight. If you want me to box, however it may go, I am prepared. And I am better on all handles. And you talk about preparation, I am prepared. For what? Prepare for the worst, pray for the best. And I prepared for it all, so happy days.
And what will the English title mean in your journey as a professional?
Of course,
so far?
like, it's got great sentimental value. Means a lot. Being from Rotherham, that's the most people really have achieved an English title. I used to go to the Magna Centre a lot, watch people fighting for the English title a long time ago, so it does mean a lot, and I've done that in a short amount of space of time too. I'm 22 years of age. My ceiling ain't the English title, mine's further on. His ceiling is this, obviously.
Yeah, but you have to go through
God
me.
willing, I am speaking. And then away from it, obviously, once I get rid of this English, you can fight for that. Good luck to him, but comes Friday night, it's not his night.
Eddie, do you want to get us a big prediction from either
I
man?
love it. I think you've both spoken fantastically well. Let's have a real fight. This guy's got a chance. I mean, he came over, as he says, this is a golden opportunity. If he wins this fight, he's going to go on, stay on a Matchroom show, make big money, maybe fight for a British title, an international title. And this guy, as he said, we're not looking at this as a ceiling. If he don't become a world champion, I'm not interested. So he better go through this guy like a knife through butter. Otherwise, the performance isn't good enough, because that's the level we expect from Junaid Boston. Star boy, star performance. I've got a feeling this geezer's going to be a handful.
On job, going to get dealt with.
Final predictions. Can we get a prediction
You
from you,
know,
Bilal?
he made the assumptions that I'm going to be the toughest fight he's had, right?
I didn't. I said potentially.
Okay. My apologies, potentially, but maybe not. Do you know that we tried to fight with you earlier on and you resented the idea?
Say that again, sorry.
Do you know we arranged this fight before and you resented it?
I can swear by the Quran, I have never once dodged you. I've been offered it, and in fact, I got told. I didn't even get offered it. I didn't even get offered it. I got told.
He's been offered it.
Right. I wish.
Okay, he's been offered it, but he hasn't dodged me. So what does that mean? What does that mean? He's been offered it, but he didn't dodge me, which means you avoided it. So that means dodging.
Please elaborate why on
That
earth
means
why
dodging.
I would dodge you.
Hey, pretty boy, look, I'm going to tell you the
Why
truth.
would I dodge you?
Listen.
Why would I dodge you?
Because you did not take the fight.
When?
I don't know about the statistics
When?
and
No,
the
give me.
date.
Tell me when. Please tell me when.
My promoter
No, when?
contacted
When?
your team.
When?
I don't know the date.
When? No. When? When? Tell me when.
What, are you asking for the date?
When did I dodge this fight? I'd love to know.
Dude.
Please tell me when, because this is the first
Last
I've heard.
year.
Ask
Last
Adam.
year.
If I, Eddie,
Last
Have
year.
I ever, please.
I have absolutely no idea.
And do you know why?
Okay.
Because you're chatting bollocks,
Okay,
my friend.
then my promoter
You know what I
released
mean?
my
Oh my
promoter,
God, please,
Steve
just pull it
Goodwin,
up.
released the statement saying we try to make
Do you know
it
what's
happen.
funny? Your team have put it in for you because a lot of men have been giving it the big licks on socials. Yeah, like Rick hit the balls. That clown over there, he's give it the big licks. So really, they made it a tougher night for you.
Well, the good news
Good
is
luck.
we
Good
will
luck,
see it
I
on
like
Friday.
story.
That's
Got a
all that
good
matters.
story. So
You
fair
know what?
play. You'll
You know
have
what?
another hurdle.
You know what?
And after that, you can move on.
Time will tell the truth.
Okay. Well, that was fun, Eddie. Enjoyed that. English Super Welterweight title on the line in the Chief support. Things just get a little bit more interesting, don't they, with this one? Junaid Bostan and Bilal Fawaz both bang up for it, certainly. That is the Chief support. Let's speak to the main event.
To live up to, boys. Nice one, mate. We'll see you for the face-off in a minute. Boys, you got a lot
Well, we
to
are
live
now
up
on the stage. Derrick Osaze
Junaid.
and George Liddard. George and Derrick, one thing I will
Junaid.
say is absolutely no pressure whatsoever to follow what we've just seen on the stage there from Junaid and Bilal. Eddie, straight to you. This, the main event, the Commonwealth Silver Middleweight title on the line. Like I said in the intro, for a fighter to take the leap, the first professional title fight, this is George Liddard's moment, but he's got a very good fighter in front of him in Derrick Osaze.
Well, firstly, Derrick, you won't believe what he said about you outside earlier. No. I think George Liddard is probably, you know, I mean, it's difficult to say the most improved fighter, but the way that he's come on in the last 3 or 4 fights has, you know, exceeded expectation. We always knew he's going to go on and, you know, British, Commonwealth, European. I think that's, but the way that he's dealing with opposition, the way that he's sitting down on his shots, the punch power that he has. But I love this fight because it's a whole nother level of a step up. And he's headlining and he deserves the spot. You know, he's been out, he's been selling tickets consistently. We talked about being a ticket seller. He was a ticket seller with loads of ability. Now he's a ticket seller with star headline ability. And this is a massive fight for him. This is a serious fight, serious test. But his confidence, I mean, look at the Look at the whistle on it. I mean, those loafers are naughty.
Rascal.
Yeah, no, they're not rascal. They're naughty. Where we come from, they're naughty, not rascal.
Oh, that rascal was a compliment.
No, they're fine.
Apologies.
But you know, Jorge Lidardo is really fighting like a Mexican, and like I said, confidence through the roof. But a real fight, and that's what we want.
Derrick, let's bring you in. Welcome. Looking to bounce back, of course, from the fight with Denzel Bentley. No shame in that. Obviously, look what he's gone on to achieve at British and European level. What do you know about George Liddard? And like I keep saying, what does this fight represent in your journey right now on Friday?
First, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm thankful to God. Obviously, faith is a big, important foundation in my life, and you know, He sustained me throughout my career up to this point. What do I know about George? He supports West Ham, innit? That's what I know. And he dresses like Eddie Hearn, as you can see. They've probably gone to the same designer. But yeah, fair enough. They look good still. Yeah, Eddie Hearn's a bit taller than I thought in person. I've seen him before as well, but like he got taller. But in terms of George, yeah, he's a good fighter. Of course, like you're not going to be sitting in this seat on top in a matchroom bill if you're not a good fighter. So in terms of that, of course. As for the fight, well, yeah, Eddie's right when he says it's a tough test. And if you know me, I'm not really into all this talking. I like to do my talking on Friday. So yeah, but it should be a very good fight.
When you do look, though, Derrick, in terms of where you want to go in this sport, why is this a fight against a young up-and-coming prospect that you can't afford to lose? Why is this must-win?
For me, I didn't get in this sport to become some sort of gatekeeper or some sort of stepping stone or some sort of test. Do you know what I mean? My career has not been the easiest, straightest road. Do you know what I'm saying? I've never missed a fight through injury, but I've never pulled out a fight. But I've had fights missed because of COVID tests. I had a fight missed because of the Queen, her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth passing. I was meant to box the day after. I've had fights cancelled literally days before when bags are packed ready to fly out. So it's not been the most straightforward, but at the same time, like for me, I refuse to become anyone's stepping stone. I refuse to become any gatekeeper. So of course they've brought me in here for a reason. and I'm here to mess up the script. And you know, I love a testimony has to have a very big test, if that makes sense. So this is going to be a sweet testimony come Friday night.
Before we get to the predictions at the end, let's bring in George Liddard. George, a big moment for you, obviously headlined in December. It didn't last very long. I think it only lasted a round. But this is your big moment on a Matchroom show. What does this mean to you to be on this big stage on Friday?
Yeah, no, look, I'm extremely grateful to God as well for the opportunity. Grateful to Matchroom. You know, boxed on loads of your shows, and to now headline one, you know, very, very grateful. So I'm excited. The hard work's done. This is the fun part for me now. I'm just looking forward to fight. This is what I do. I never shy away from a test. Like you say, Derrick's a good test. I'm ready to pass it. You know, that is what it is. If you look at my record, I've never shied away from anyone. I'll fight any man. I'm a fighting man. That's what I do.
Derrick says he's here to rip up the script on Friday. What do you think about the energy, and what do you think about this man as a fighter?
Listen, I think everyone that's come, my last 5-6 fights have all been, you know, a step up after step up, and I think they've all come to flip the script. And someone's yet to do that. So listen, good luck to him. I hope he gives it his all Friday night, and I'm sure he is. Look, he comes to fight. I know that. I'm more than ready. I'm ready for this level, and I'm ready to show the level that I'm at and push on for big things in 2025. Like you say, first title on the line. I've treated every fight up till now like it's a title fight. Nothing changes for me. Nothing changes. So I'm ready to do the business.
What type of fight suits you, George, and what do you hope Derrick brings on Friday?
To be honest, it doesn't matter what Derrick turns up. He can come to fight. He can box. It doesn't matter to me. I'm sure he's going to come to fight, but whatever's in front of me, I'll beat. Because all I've focused on is being the best me I can be coming in. You know, there's little things we work on, yeah, but I think you get too strung up on the other fighter sometimes that you forget about yourself. And all I care about is being the best me come fight night, and that's what I've done. And that's what I'll show Friday night with another dominant performance.
And Derrick, you say not into the trash talk, but this is a big platform, a big stage. At your best, how do you beat this man on Friday?
By any means necessary. That's what it is. Like, credit to George, he speaks a good game, of course. Like, he's got arguably one of the best promoters, promotion outfits behind him.
It's not arguable, is it? Really?
Huh?
It's not arguable, is it?
I have to be...
Oh, right.
You haven't given me a contract yet, so I have to put asterisks there, do you know what I'm saying? If I'm coming out saying, yeah, Eddie's the best promoter in the world, then I'm cutting off my chances just in case. But nothing personal, Eddie. I like you. You're a good guy, man. You're a good guy. But yeah, he says all the right things he has to. He's an up-and-coming prospect. He's got the whole backing behind him. He's got a football club behind him, of course. But the proof will be in the pudding. Do you know what I mean? Because really and truthfully, if there's one thing I've learned in this sport, is strip away the followers, strip away all these big, you know, cameras, strip away interviews, strip away all the media attention. When the referee signals for everyone to get out the ring, it's literally just me and George. Do you know what I mean? So the proof will be in the pudding there. So I'm not really big into predictions, but a win by any means necessary.
George, victory for you. Obviously, we'll see you pick up your first professional title. Derrick says any means necessary. What's on the agenda for you?
Look, I agree with what he said there. None of this matters when it comes to Friday night. None of this. The smart suit, none of that matters. What matters is how you've prepared and what the man inside of you is, the dog inside of you. And we're going to see who's got the bigger dog inside of him. And look, people write me off, think I'm young, I'm 22. This man's experienced on the domestic scene. He's going to bring it to me. Like he said, I don't need to do all this talking. I don't need to do it. I just love to fight. This is all just part and parcel of what comes with it. Do you know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see who's got the bigger dog inside of him come Friday night. But I'm ready. It's a nice suit, to be fair. It's a nice blazer. I'll give you a props. Look, you know what I mean?
I'm
turned up.
I like a blazer here or there, but I grew up in South East London, and you know, when it's time for battle, like, you roll up in, let's just say, the attire that suits the occasion. So this is the attire I think suited the occasion today, because like I said, I'm not really coming to look good or play games on Friday. I'm coming to do a serious job. Do you know what I'm saying?
I look good under the business. You know what I'm saying?
Lucky I didn't back out the tech fleece today. If the tech fleece came out, you know what time it is.
He thinks he's on job.
But yeah,
come on,
but
man. You're a pastor.
But no, kudos.
The tech fleece.
No, kudos to hey, listen. Hey, I've got my tech fleece in church as well. They love it.
Hey, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But no, kudos to him. Like I said, and I agree with what he said. None of this matters. When you strip it all away, it comes down to what's in the ring. And yeah, I've got no ill feeling towards him. At the same time, this is making sure that that my career progresses the way I want it to progress. So it's nothing personal. It's just business. But like I say, come Friday, yeah, he's got a serious task on his hands.
Like he said, strictly business. You know, I'm sure after the fight we shake hands and we'll be sweet, but Friday night, everything gets put aside and we'll meet in the middle of the ring. And, you know, only one man's coming out on top. That's all I got to say. I'm not about the talking either. Like he says, I don't need to do all the talking. I just like to fight.
Okay, well, that's your main event Friday night from the Indigo at the O2 live on DAZN. Eddie Hearn, final one to you before we bring the fighters face to face. Based on what you've heard up here, it's sold out on Friday. Expecting a great night of boxing.
Be a great night and a massive opportunity for everybody. There's a lot on the line for everybody. I think everybody is in good competitive fights, and particularly the two main events, really, two real tests. And as sometimes you see, prospects or people who are overhyped get beat if they're not good enough, if they haven't prepared properly. I believe these two charges have, but they've got real tests in front of them. You know, and for Derrick and Bilal, massive opportunities for them. Like he said, he don't want to be a gatekeeper or a guy that's, you know, he wants to go on and fight for the British title again and be in big fights. And if he wins, he's had it off. And if Bilal wins, they've had it off. These guys are the hunted now. They've got the big contracts. They're headlining the shows. Good luck to everyone. Let's have a great night.
Is that on record, Eddie, that you're saying... Oh, wow.
Is that
on record, Eddie, that you're saying that if me and Bilal pull off wins, that there's guaranteed fights after it? You said winner stays on, right?
100%.
Oh, cool.
Winner stays on.
I love it. We've got that on record, yeah?
Okay, don't mind that at all. No pressure as well. Eddie, George Liddard against Derrick Osaze is your main event, Commonwealth Silver Middleweight title. On the line on DAZN, over 10 rounds. We are now going to bring the fighters up for a few pose photos with Mr. Eddie Hearn and face off the chief support. And the main event as well. Just while we clear the stage, a reminder of what is coming your way this Friday on DAZN. Before the bell, lots of young talent on display. Maisie Rose Courtney raises the curtain from 5 p.m. on Matchman DAZN YouTube channels. The popular Jesse Brandon is also back in action over 6 super lightweight rounds, over 300 tickets sold for him, so looking forward to the atmosphere in that one. 6-0 Laley Buttigieg continues his professional development over 6 against James Todd, who, as I say, you remember a terrific fight he had with Aaron Bowen towards the end of last year on Before the Bell and Commonwealth Games. Silver medalist Taylor Bevan fights for the second time as a professional. The main DAZN broadcast begins 7 p.m. as unbeaten Giorgio Visioli steps up to 8 rounds. Middleweight Jimmy Sains looks to maintain his perfect knockout percentage, also over 8 rounds for the first time. Before the chief support and the main event, of course, Junaid Bostan in that English title fight with Bilal Fawaz. That one was interesting. That's building nicely. And the main event, Giorgio Liddard, as Eddie called him, in the main event. Terrific fight, that one. Both had a bit to say. Derrick Osaze for the Commonwealth Silver Middleweight title over 10. And here are some of the fighters in action on Friday night. Jimmy Sains, the Brentwood Baturbiev, going to keep saying it until it sticks. 8 fights, 8 knockouts. Taylor Bevan, Commonwealth Games silver medalist, and Giorgio Visioli's looked red hot, hasn't he? Through 5 fights so far. And we are going to bring up the fighters now for the first face-off of fight week. And it will be started by Junaid Bostan, who meets Bilal Fawaz over 10 rounds for the vacant English super welterweight title. Let's listen in. That your chief support on Friday, live on DAZN. Junaid Bostan versus Bilal Fawaz. The English title at 154 pounds on the line. And that will lead us in just nicely to your main event. A big night for George Liddard, headlining for the second time in his professional journey. His second 10-rounder, but this one, a big opportunity to pick up his first title as a professional. He meets Derrick Osaze in the main event, Friday, live on DAZN. Commonwealth silver middleweight title on the line. Kieran Conway holds the full title at 160 pounds. George Liddard has expressed interest to go on and face Kieran Conway, but knows he's got a very tough test in front of him, first of all on Friday night. Don't forget, it's weigh-in day tomorrow from 1 p.m. Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels join myself and Darren Barker to bring you all the action as the fighters face the scales and face each other for the final time before they meet in the ring on Friday at the Indigo, the O2, live on DAZN. Next gen action, so much to look forward to. From myself, Jamie Ward, and from Eddie Hearn, that was fun. We'll see you tomorrow.
From the four corners of the world to the four corners of this ring right here in London, England.
Fights that mean something, fights that have atmosphere, fights that have support.
The fight starts now!
Tremendous right hand. Liddard very much in the ascendancy. Much is expected of 22-year-old Junaid Foster.
This guy is going to be the best in the world. I'm calling it one day.
This impressive young man does it again. Is he only?
So quick, so sharp. He really is a talented fighter. Another impressive win for Physioli.
Next gen boxing action.
Next gen, next generation.
This is going to be an absolute thriller.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by That Prize Guy. This is you on your first day as a teacher.
Anybody?
This is a class you'll inspire.
Alien?
No,
Life.
really inspire. This is a lesson you'll learn from her, him, and then here's the day you're put to the test.
Come on!
And this is the day we bring it home!
Are all the lives you'll shape. This is the one you'll shape the most. Search Get Into Teaching.
Hello, darlings. Aunt Helga. Futuristic scooters, old school website. Relax. Web upgrades, I own them. Better design, e-commerce, and smart AI. Now you're fit for the future. I scoot off now. Your digital partner, Ionos.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by That Prize Guy.